Hey everyone, it's Kelly. Thanks for joining me. I am back today with a new 12 by 12 scrapbook process video for the Spiegelmom Scraps Shop. I am guest designing for them this month, and Jody was kind enough to offer a discount code for anyone that would like to make a purchase in their shop. Just use the code KellyJ15 at checkout and you'll get 15% off your order. So today is the third video that I have put out this month for my guest design spot with Spiegelmom Scraps, but this video that you're watching now is actually the first project that I made when I knew that I was going to be guest designer. So when I received the package of sequins, I wanted to show you everything that I had received. So that's why you're seeing it in the third video, because it really was the first video that I made. I know that sounds a little confusing, but I had decided to mix up the order in which I submitted my projects for the guest design spot. So that's why you're seeing this video third instead of first. And all of the sequin mixes are gorgeous. I will link to each of the mixes that I'm showing you here in the description box below. So if you want to head over and check them out in a little bit more detail in the shop, you can. And this is the photo that I'm going to be using today, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the video. And I pulled out some product from my stash for this layout, and actually a lot of these products were in my purge box that I have in my scrapbook room. I go through my stash regularly and pull out items that I don't think that I will use and toss into that purge box. And I went with this collection from Simple Stories because I had a pack of the chipboard stickers in my stash still that I was planning on keeping and using at some point. And they had these really cute umbrellas and galoshes in that chipboard sticker sheet. And I had initially thought that I was going to do a rainy day layout with this collection, because in the Spiegelmom Scraps shop, there's a really cute cut file that is a bunch of umbrellas grouped together. So that was my first thought when I was going to create this layout. And I actually used that rainy day layout on the very first project that I showed for my Spiegelmom Scraps guest design. And I will try to link to that video in the description box below. Hopefully I remember. But I had planned on using this Vintage Bliss collection from Simple Stories because of that umbrella and the galoshes that was included in that chipboard stickers. But I decided that I was going to use it with this picture of my dog instead, and I only had that chipboard sticker set still in my scrap stash. Everything else from this collection was in a purge box. So I had to go through, it's a rule of mine that once it goes into the purge box, I don't go back and get it out, and I totally broke the rule. I pulled out the whole collection, and I've had this collection for a really, really long time, but I'm so glad that I was able to use it, and I think this layout turns out really cute in the end. So as far as what I'm doing with the layout right now, you saw me fussy cut out that banner that had the Polaroid frames and just a couple little accent pieces. And I'm going to use that as a banner piece, just kind of drape it across the center of the layout. But I wanted to add some mixed media to the background. And so I started with some white gesso just to help mute out some of those polka dots. And then I added a blue gelato, but I wasn't really getting as much color showing with the gelato as I wanted. So then I grabbed this spray mist to spray the blue onto the background. And the more I went and the more saturated the color became, the less I started liking it. So I actually grabbed a second sheet of paper that I had in that purge box and think about starting all over and maybe just keeping this layout clean and not using any mixed media on the background. But then I decided to go back to the original paper that I added the mixed media to, and I thought, you know what, if I don't like it, I might as well just cover it up with some white acrylic paint and see if it gets better. I can't make it any worse because I didn't like it before, so if I add the white acrylic paint and I still don't like it, I just go to that second sheet of paper and start over. And I do end up liking this. That Shimmers blue mist that I sprayed onto the background was actually still a little bit wet. So when I added the white acrylic paint, it gave it a blue tone, which is what I was really looking for initially anyway. So I was happy with how that paint mixed in with that spray. And I do want to apologize for the lighting in the remainder of this video. I had just rearranged my scrap room at this time, and my table was closer to the window than it had been before. And I didn't realize that the light was coming in so strong through the window onto my table. So for the rest of the video, the lighting will be just a little bit off. So now I'm just figuring out what embellishments I want to add to the layout. And I thought initially I was going to use the title Forever Young. This photo is of our dog Cooper, and it was taken back in 2006 when he was still a very young puppy. He wasn't quite a year old in this photo. And I've talked about our dogs in previous videos, and I've scrapbooked photos of them before. I don't think I've mentioned on my YouTube channel, but we had 3 Shih Tzus, Cooper, Bodhi, and Lucy, and we lost Bodhi and Lucy very suddenly due to illnesses that they just couldn't overcome. They were old. Bodhi was 12 and Lucy was 11, and our dogs are like our kids, so that was a very, very difficult time for us when we lost them, and we lost them very close together. It was less than 3 months apart from each other when they passed away, and it was very sudden. And this layout that I'm making now, I actually made this before Lucy had passed, and I think that's part of the reason why I had to mix up the order in which I submitted my projects, because I didn't think I'd be able to talk about our dogs that soon. But we have since adopted 2 dogs from a shelter, and they are the best. They're great, and they're great with Cooper. Cooper is 12 also, so he is definitely a senior dog, so he is adjusting very well to having these 2 new big dogs in the house. And I have photos of our new dogs on my Instagram if you would like to head over and check them out. I'm sure I will have videos of them, of scrapbook layouts that I make with photos that I've taken of them, coming up soon. Okay, so while I was talking, I think you saw everything that I was doing there. I was just checking out different embellishments to add, and here I'm showing you the journaling that I typed on to that portion that I had fussy cut out of that 12 by 12 pattern paper. And I did add some stitching through all of those pieces just using my sewing machine, and I did punch the hole in that tag from that same pattern paper that I fussy cut at the very beginning of the video. I did want to add some clouds onto the layout, and that felt cloud is from Basic Gray. And the funny thing about this layout is I was inspired to use this collection because of the umbrella and galoshes that I mentioned earlier in the video, and they don't show up on this layout at all. So it's just funny how sometimes you have an idea in mind and it just takes a completely different direction than what you initially thought it was going to. Now I thought that I wanted to add some more of that darker teal color, so I'm using a butterfly punch with one of the 6x6 pattern papers, but these butterflies don't end up making it onto the end result of the layout. Now I'm going to add the sequins, and I'm going to use the We Are Royals mix and the Sunflower Fields mix, and I'm just going to scatter those around the layout. I do use liquid adhesive to adhere the sequins to the layout. For this layout, I just took some of the liquid adhesive and put it onto a scrap piece of paper, and then I'm going to use a pair of tweezers to dip the sequin into the liquid adhesive and then just stick the sequin onto the layout where I'd like it to go. And these sequins are so pretty. Some of them are flat, some of them have a little bit of a curve to them, and then some of them are a floral shape. They look like teeny tiny little flowers, and they add just the perfect something extra to the layout just to help your eye dance around the page. So I'm going to bring it closer up so you can take a look and see all of the sequins that I added and just all the different elements that I added to the layout. I will have some still shots coming up in just a moment also. I really do want to encourage you to head to the Spiegelmom Scraps Shop to take a look at all the different sequin mixes that are available and all the other items they have in their shop. Make sure you check out the freebie cut file section also. They have some really fun cut files, and I used one of the cut files in my last video for my guest design spot. So I will try to remember to link to the videos and all the sequins in the description box below. I do want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will be back again very soon. Thanks!